Namaskar. I am Dr. Vijay Mohan, a professor of medicine from Hyderabad. We as doctors are getting everyday calls from different people, patients and different people, asking so many doubts about vaccination today. So people are asking, can I take vaccination? What is the side effect? What are the risks? What are the complications? Who should not take? There are a lot of questions people are asking us every day. So today we have a 10-minute video clip for you clearing most of these kind of doubts. So many people are scared to take vaccines also. So today we are trying to clear all your doubts regarding the vaccination of COVID-19. So I'm happy to inform you that I have with me today Dr. Asfia.
Good morning.
Good morning, Asfia. She is my student now. She has become my junior colleague. I'm happy, and she has passed with a distinction recently in her MBBS, and she has done some lot of work on this vaccinology. She has studied about these vaccines, COVID vaccines, and she is also in touch with the international experts in vaccines. So she is here to throw some more lights and clear all our doubts. I have jotted down a couple of questions that generally commonly people ask us. So I am going to ask a few questions, and hopefully Dr. Asfia will answer our questions. Thank you, Dr. Asfia. Thanks for coming. And today I am going to ask you, because you are a semi-expert or whatever, you're still junior, but the amount of work you've done in vaccinology is not small. Anyway, the first question goes like this, Asfia. In the immunizing agent, we have vaccines, we have immunoglobulins, we have anti-C, there are different types of immunizing agents. So today we are focusing only on the vaccines because we are dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. So I'll ask first question to Dr. Asfia. Asfia, what exactly is this vaccine? Many people have no idea what vaccine is all about. So can you briefly tell us what is vaccine?
So, a vaccine is a biological preparation that induces immunity in our body. So, we're basically giving a compound which tells our white blood cells, tells our immune system to create a response to that particular agent. So, vaccine is basically that is a vaccine.
That is vaccine, right. What are the types of vaccines that are available? I know that it's a big question, but can you simplify for us and tell us what are the types of vaccines that are available?
So we have a lot of different types of vaccines. The ones we are currently using include live vaccines, killed attenuated vaccines. We have toxoid protein vaccines. Basically, all of these are different methods of introducing the particle against which we want immunity. These are the different types of vaccines. We also now have mRNA vaccines. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for COVID-19, those are mRNA vaccines. That is the new technology.
Yeah, Dr. Asfia, you said live vaccine. What do you mean by live? Are you going to give live virus into the body?
Yes, but that virus will be
Attenuated.
Attenuated. Yes, it's
Okay.
We
take out the teeth of the virus so that it will not
make
bite.
it harmless.
You mean to say that?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. Dr. Asfia, why is there a difference in the efficacy of different vaccines? Again, this is a common question people keep asking us. Should I take this vaccine or that vaccine? What is the difference in the efficacy and why is it so? Vaccine should be a vaccine. Your take on this?
So to understand that, we first need to know what efficacy is. I will try to explain that as simply as I can. If I say a particular drug or vaccine or anything has an 80% efficacy, what we mean to say is, if I'm giving that drug to 100 people, 80 people out of those will produce the desired effect, the effect we want. So the different efficacy depends on the different types of vaccines. Not all vaccines are the same. We're using different mechanisms to introduce the virus. Their composition is different, the way they're made are different, and that is why they also have different efficacies.
Yeah, I have one more question, Dr. Asfia. When you're talking about efficacy, say for example 94%,
Yes.
X vaccine. So is it 94 for me, you and everyone, or is it fixed number, or it varies again from person to person?
94 here is the number of people that it will produce a response in.
Okay.
But the kind of response in every person is also different.
Good. Yeah, understood. Yeah. And generally, another question that we get asked is what should be the gap between the two vaccines? Again, it depends on what kind of vaccine are you taking.
Yes, it depends on the kind of vaccine because, like I said, they're produced differently. So, the vaccines we have now for COVID 19 in India, which include Covishield, Covaxin, and recently Sputnik 5, these have different gaps. For Covishield, we are recommending a gap of 6 to 8 weeks between the two doses, and for Covaxin, it is 3 to 4 weeks. And for Sputnik 5, in Russia, they were giving it apart 21 days apart, but in India, we are yet to decide on that number.
But initially, many people are having a lot of doubts about. Initially, we said 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks, 28 days, and then we are saying 3 months for Covishield. What is this confusion is all about? What is the latest now?
Yes, sir. So I got asked this question quite a few times as well. In the beginning, we were giving Covishield 3 to 4 weeks apart. But then we did some more studies, we did some more trials, and we realized the efficacy is better if we give it 6 to 8 weeks apart. So that is what we're doing now, 84 days.
Yeah, and some people are still yet to take vaccine. They are afraid of taking vaccine, or they have some doubts, and we are calling them as anti-vacciners. What will happen if they really don't take vaccine? Do you mean to say that they will definitely get the disease?
They have a higher chance of getting the disease. We cannot talk in definite terms. I cannot say they will definitely get the disease. But if they're not following the SOPs and if they're not vaccinated and if they do get the disease, it will be more severe than in a non-vaccinated person.
Okay, another question is when I take one and forget to take second one for some reason, what will happen?
So to understand that, we need to know why we're taking the second dose.
Okay.
We're doing that to improve the efficacy. So after first dose, you probably have some level of response to the vaccine, and you take the second dose, you have a better response.
Okay, so you recommend people to take both the things?
Yes.
Okay, without any hesitation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next question comes to you, Dr. Asfia. If I get COVID after first shot, can I go for the second?
Again,
And if so, what should be the gap?
Again, this depends. Usually, you might not need it because after the first shot, there is some level of immune response, and then you get COVID, so that immune response is already increased. But you can do some antibody studies and see if you need the second dose, and if you do decide to take it, it should be 3 months after COVID infection. It's not right.
Okay. Post-COVID, suppose somebody has COVID infection and post-COVID, when should they take? Should they really take vaccination or not necessary? And if it is necessary, after how long? What is the gap between the COVID infection and the first jab?
The gap, it is recommended they do take it, and the gap is 6 weeks to 3 months after the infection.
Mm-hmm. And who should avoid? Some people say, I've got this problem, should I take or should I avoid? What is the group, which group of people you recommend not to take the vaccination?
Yeah, so the people who should not take the vaccine as of now include pregnant women, children
pregnancy.
under... Yes, sir, pregnancy.
Okay.
And children under 12
Any
years.
stage of pregnancy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that is not because it will harm you, but because we do not know what will happen. We haven't done any trials in pregnant women.
Okay.
So we don't know how it will affect them.
And who else? Pregnancy and?
Children under 12 years.
Oh.
And same thing, we do not have enough data to support giving vaccines to children under 12 years.
So Dr. Asfia says that pregnant women at any stage and children below 12 years should avoid taking vaccination. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. People say that I've got hypertension, I've got high BP, I've got sugar, I've got asthma, I've got cancer, I've got HIV. Can I take the vaccine? This is again another common question. Many people, elderly people especially, they have these doubts. What is your take on this?
Not only can they take it, we want them to take it.
Oh, they have to take because they are at more risk.
Yeah, this is a group of people who are at higher risk to develop severe illness. So we want them to take the vaccine.
Yeah. And regarding drugs, some people say that I'm taking this insulin or some aspirin for some reason. So what kind of drugs should be really people should not take, or they should stop for some time and then take? What is this?
Again, depends on the vaccine. Covishield, one of the complications of that vaccine is thrombosis. So we recommend avoiding aspirin within 2 days before and after vaccination. But you can always consult your doctor and see more details about which drug you're taking.